Hello, my fellow readers. It's I, Dark Symphony 777, with another fanfiction review. As always, a link to the story will be in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications, leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts of the story. And finally, this is my opinion. My opinion is not indicative of everyone in the world, so please respect that. So, the story I am doing a review of is, and again, by Riona. It is a Danganroppa fanfiction. And I don't really know what to say about this. Now, don't get me wrong. This review is going to be structured very differently from others because of the specific circumstance behind what this type of story is. Because normally there is I always do things in a certain order. I talk about the plot, then I talk about the characters, and then I talk about the grammar, writing, and pacing at around the same time. However, the problem with this should be apparent. What plot? What characters? Don't get me wrong. I will say this. This story is written very, very well. I'm not gonna doubt that. I'm not gonna doubt the writing ability of Riona, because from a technical standpoint, from a pure writing standpoint, this is written immaculate. This is top-notch writing. The problem with this story, I added ad for Family Dollar. The problem with this story is not so much an actual complaint, more a pet peeve I have. So, there are three types of stories out there. There is one where anyone, whether they know the franchise or property or not, can actually learn about it and have fun and read it. The most recent case would be Tales TARDIS Tales. I don't know that much about Doctor Who, but I was able to figure out what Doctor Who does and all that jazz from reading the story. It's a very non-fandom friendly story. There are stories out there where you have to at least have a slight knowledge of certain elements to be able to figure out how to read. Some where no ponies come before. You kind of have to know who Q is and what Q does to at least to fully understand what that story is about. And then there's stories like this, where you have to have a very, very intimate knowledge of a property in order to understand. In this case, you need to have a very, very keen understanding of Danganroppa. You need to have a very, very deep understanding on the specifics of the first Danganroppa game. It's not so much, just a vague sense of what's going on. No, you need to know the entire game in order to get this story. Does that make this story bad? No. Does that make it annoying to read? To me, yeah. Because I just don't know much about Danganroppa. I know Danganroppa. I've seen gameplay of one of the spin-offs involving like a gun, like shooting Monokumas. So it's like I know, so at least unlike like Star Trek where I don't know anything, at least I know like a very, very vague sense of what Danganroppa is. It's basically just like Ace Attorney, but like very dark. Or darker than Ace Attorney. When Ace Attorney goes dark, it goes dark. It's so hard to... I wanted to wait a little bit to review the story because I was so hesitant to figure out what to say about the story, because this story absolutely needs a lot of knowledge on Danganronpa to understand. You need to know the game. And I don't have the knowledge of the game. But I will say this, it is a good story. Plot-wise, it's kind of a pseudo Groundhog Day loop. I don't know. It's longer than 1 day, so I don't know if it's a Groundhog Day, but it's too short to be quantified as a Peggy Sue story. It's basically the main character, Negi, constantly. Negi gets to the end of Danganroppa 1, is about to open the door, and then he wakes up in the classroom and he has to repeat the entire events of the game over with. So he's basically just trying to constantly repeat the events of the first little bit of the game, so that way no one can die. None of the other classmates can die. Junko doesn't die. Junko's sister doesn't die. No one dies. And it's basically just him just constantly repeating it over and over again. He keeps dying. He keeps waking up in the classroom. And then he does manage to eventually get everyone to side with him. It involves him having to talk to Junko's sister and befriending her because he realizes, well, it felt like I have to save everyone in order to escape this. So it's like, okay, so I have to at the very least save Junko's sister. And then he slowly pieces everything together and manages to solve everything. And of course, you get to the end of the story. It was basically just that everyone leaving, and except for Junko. Junko stays in the school. Not my Junko. I prefer Toho Junko. I just wish I knew more about Danganronpa 1. Because if I knew more about the game, I would probably be able to better review the story. But I'm personally not a fan of these types of stories where you desperately have to where you desperately have to know the knowledge. And I even get the twist at the end where it's basically like what's the name of those memes from Team Fortress 2? Those memes where everyone starts dying and the whole point is you're actually supposed to loop the video because once you get to hear it basically repeats. That's basically the story. It's a repeating story. Because, like, I wonder why you've seen this before. The author note students like the reason you've seen this before is not that you're caught in a temple. Okay, it's kind of this. I completely forgot about this because I actually forgot because I actually read this story like 2 weeks ago, and I read this in one day. I completely forgot about this. This is another author who kind of suffered from the whole shenanigans between fanfiction.net and AO3. I don't know if anyone has been around when I reviewed it, but a long, long time ago, I reviewed a story called, let me actually look it up, Monster Yurisume. This one. Yeah, here it is. Monster Yurisume. I reviewed this story long time ago. And yep, here we go. And when this story first came out, they had these. This story kind of suffered I don't know specifically this story. Actually had the problem because I think he was actually uploading these at the same time on both sites. But, makes it up. Okay. But this story did suffer. So basically what happened is around 2015, 2016-ish, a bunch of scumbags decided to copy paste a bunch of stories, including this one. This was one that was copied from Fanfiction because you could actually like write and drag your mouse over them and basically copy and paste it that way and post it to AO3. People they were expecting like, hey, if I copy these, I can get like all the attention and stuff because AO3 was like getting popular around that time. A bunch of the authors found out and got really, really pissed. And because of that, not only did the stories get deleted. I think the people who copied him got permabanned from AO3. But fanfiction.net had to update the website to basically make it impossible to basically copy and paste. So you can't do this anymore. Can't do stuff like that on this anymore. You can still do it on AO3, which is something really weird because it's like, well, you can't do it on here, but you can do it on AO3. And I have my problems with AO3. I don't like the tagging system. I much prefer fanfiction than AO3 because it's just very annoying to navigate that site and also the tagging system is completely garbage. But I completely messed up the whole time loop thing because I completely forgot that this was even here. But let me get back. Get back on track. I like this story. I don't get this story because again, I just don't know enough about Danganronpa to understand the minute details. Probably if I ever play the game, eventually, either on the Let's Play or off or like off camera, I might be able to get it and better understand the story. But yeah, I say would I recommend this story? Well, that's the thing, because this story is only for like the hardcore Danganronpa fans. And I typically don't. Okay, I would recommend this with an asterisk. If you're a big fan of Danganronpa, go ahead. If you played the first game, go ahead. If you didn't do any of that, pass it because you're just not gonna understand anything that's going on. You're literally not gonna understand anything that's going on. Favorite part? I don't have a favorite part. It's pretty even all across the board. Again, excuse me. Again, maybe if I looked into um looked into what I'm having a brain fart. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart to say play Danganronpa. I'm so stupid. My brain is like deprived of oxygen. um yeah, so maybe if I actually played the game, I could probably have a favorite part, but I don't. So I can't. What would I fix? I wouldn't fix anything. Because, like I said, I'm 100% sure you're supposed to know the game to understand what's going on. And if I even suggest anything, that would probably ruin what the story's trying to pull. I can't. It wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, that is And Again by Riona. I think it's a good story. I just wish I understood what was going on. I like that it was well written. I don't have anything more to say about it. So this has been Dark Symphony 777 and cut.